Hi there. Hi, welcome back. Listen, I have a gripe, and let's fucking talk about it. Things that are a million prices, meaning why can't something just be 19.99? I get tax. Okay, I'm not really talking about tax, but I'm talking about something like when you go to Las Vegas, okay, and you check into a resort. There's a resort fee. Okay, the resort fee is like $35 to like $50 a day. A day. What? And that's to use the amenities. Okay, in Vegas, that's to use. It's not for parking. If you think it's parking, it's not. It's to use the salon, I believe, the spa, which doesn't give you any money. It just allows you to go in. The pool, access to the pool. Why not? If these fucking corrupt people, why not just add it in to the price of the fucking hotel? Just add it in to the price of the hotel. So I don't know that it's that much that you're sitting there price gouging. Another thing, I just called Spectrum, okay? If you want internet or cable or whatever you fucking watch, do not do not use Spectrum. I've had them for a little over a year. They are the worst. We have more outages. We have more, the internet doesn't work. We've had people come out, they fix something, they leave, it's not fixed. But this is what pisses me off the most. When I went through my itemized line by line bill, they charge for crazy shit. We do have cable because my mom loves cable, girl. Okay, I can't get her off of it. We're getting off of it now, though, after I've seen how much we're paying for fucking cable. We're getting her off of it, but she loves it. So they charge now, it's either $10 or $20 for local channels. Local, the ones that you used to get with the antenna for free. For free. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cancel Spectrum, go to fucking Goodwill, buy me a fucking antenna so I can watch 3, 8, 10, and 13. Okay, have we lost our minds? On top of that, I'm not even talking about taxes. I know you guys think I'm talking about taxes. I'm just talking about ridiculous stuff. Then they charge for your remotes if you have remotes. So you're paying for the fucking remotes, okay? Then they charge for extra channels, girl. If you want Bravo, if you want some fucking Andy Cohen and some housewives in your life, that's extra. It doesn't go in on the plan. Listen, it's all just charge for the price. Just charge for the price. I don't understand how hard this is, okay? I don't get it. With that being said, that's not the best rant I've ever had, but girl, that's what I've got for today, okay? Because right now, all I'm pissed about is I'm doing my fucking podcast right now, and when I get off, I'm gonna have to drive to a motherfucking Starbucks. Oh, and listen to this. So Spectrum, I call to fucking cancel because I'm like, I'm done. I'm going with AT&T. I have my phone with them for fucking years and years and years. They've held me hostage for that long. I had AT&T fiber in LA. I am going to go back to that, okay? So I called to cancel, and they, of course, tried to keep me. I'm telling them, no, 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 no. Then they tell me, listen to this, two things. Then they tell me, well, it looks like it's your equipment. Okay, we hop from the equipment thing to I just need to cancel. They say, well, your cycle started today, okay, and it ends on the 26th. So yeah, we can cancel, but it just turns off your service, and you won't. And I'm like, wait a second. So what you're saying is I would still have to pay. You would cancel it today, and you still wouldn't give me that month. And she said yes. And I said, okay, so then when do I get to cancel where I don't have to pay? And on the 26th. So I literally should have called yesterday, but it was a fucking Sunday, the goddamn Lord's Day. The Lord fucking fucks everything up. But I didn't call yesterday, okay? So I called today. So anyways, now I have another month. But this is the kicker. This is the kicker about Spectrum. After she told me that it was my equipment, I got all riled up, whatever. We didn't go back to that fact. She's like, okay, have it you can cancel on the 26th, whatever. Never did she go back to, you still need new equipment. Your internet's not working. Okay, it's still not, but you're gonna pay for $250. That's how much it is. $250 for internet and cable and fucking Bravo. Okay, so now after all these shenanigans, talking to you fine, lovely people, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to fucking go to find a Starbucks with Wi-Fi. Then after that, I'm gonna have to go to fucking a Spectrum store and get new equipment for this next month because I'm not going to sit here and pay $250 to have half-ass equipment. Okay? You're going to give me new equipment, and then I'm going to cancel on the 26th, girl. If you have problems with it, you can fuck off. Okay? So, listen, Park Avenue problems. Are there people dying in the world? Absolutely. Are there people being raped and pillaged all the time? Do I have it very fucking easy? Absolutely. But these are my fucking problems, and that's why I'm annoyed. I'm glad I'm not homeless. I'm glad I am naturally blonde, blue-eyed, thin, rich, girl. Is it opposite day? Let's get into the episode. Hi, my little hall monitors. Welcome back to the the Hall Monitor of the Universe show. I am Hall Monitor of the Universe. And one of my biggest fears is that one day someone is going to be like, Hall Monitor of the Universe ×2. I know, I just made that fucking shit up. I do wonder sometimes if I'm ever gonna have someone come take my sad little reins, living in my mom's guest bedroom in fucking Waco, Texas. Who the fuck would want to be Hall Monitor of the Universe? Listen, girl, I forgot what what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today? Oh, rape. Okay. So, I know it's a little bit of a heavy subject, but I thought long and hard about this, and, not a lot of gender-assigned men talk about being raped, and I do think it happens a lot more than we think. I, in total, have been probably raped 4 or 5 times in my life. None of them were, forceful, hideous, I am grateful for the fact that let's go with the first time, okay? Let's cut to the first time, and it is this. Okay, so this is back when the internet just started, and there were AOL chat rooms, okay? And for people that don't know what AOL chat rooms are, it was the beginning of the internet, and where you go in, and there can only be a certain amount of people in the group itself, and the group would be called, M for M, male for male, okay? So you'd go in there, all the queer guys would go in there, and they'd fucking try to hook up with someone. You don't see any pictures. All you see is a screen name, okay? That is all you saw was a screen name, and you just believed the people when they said they looked XYZ. You just believed them when they said they were who they were. And I can't even believe that I was never, fucking murdered in Las Vegas growing up, because this man, okay, so I meet this guy on on the internet, okay, the beginning of it, and meet him in a male for male. I don't really remember what he told me, but I was a horny 16-year-old, okay? I knew nothing, but I just didn't know. I was young, dumb, and full of cum. So this guy came to pick me up. I hopped out. We lived in a two-story house in Las Vegas, in the suburbs of Las Vegas growing up. And I was the only one that lived downstairs. And so my bedroom, I could hop out my window and then hop over the wall. And he picked me up. I remember looking at him thinking, oh my God, he's way older than I thought. And he was. He was I want to say he was probably into his late 20s, early 30s. And I'm 16. But this is also 1998. And reference points and we didn't know any better. We didn't fucking know any better. Okay? So, this man picks me up, he takes me to his fucking mansion, and he did. He had a fucking mansion. I don't know if I said this before, but this man, I believe he owned a rum called Monte Cristo rum. I have tried to look it up. I cannot find it. And another fun fact is this man resurfaced in my life. I hope I fucking remember to come back to it. Later on, he comes into the first salon, and he ends up dating a fucking coworker. Love you, baby. You know who you are. I love you, mama. Who I was good Judy's with. I still am. I'm sure if I see him, we'd pick right up where we left off. But he ended up dating him. But I remember when he came in, and I was 22 at the time, I had to shampoo him, and I knew in that moment that my stomach dropped. I knew that this guy had fucked with me. So let's get back to so he drives me. I'm now 16. We're going back into his mansion. I had smoked weed prior, but he had some different weed. I was smoking nasty weed that my friends had in high school. He smoked me out, and we had unprotected sex all over his mansion. And I remember it being so fucking hot. I remember me being so into it, but I also remember me being so extremely stoned that I was out of it. The one bit of it, and this was this is when I lost my virginity too. This guy took my virginity. And my ex-boyfriend who thinks he took my virginity, sorry, James, he in fact did not, mama, okay? And I think I've talked about that before, but this Monte Cristo rum took my virginity. So we fucked for a long time because I was high. He was high. I don't know how high he was. I mean, just thinking about it now, like, this 30-year-old is fucking a 16-year-old. That's fucking illegal, okay? So, he takes me home. Doesn't murder me, obviously, I'm here. Takes me home, and the next day, we end up... I remember saying, I want to fuck you, okay? I remember saying that, and he wanted me to come back. So, I was driving then. I had my little Geo Metro girl. The little jelly bean, we called the girl. 2 doors, no automatic steering, girl. You'd have to, like, pull it to the left and the right. That was my first car, and I fucking loved it. So, I drove my little Geo Metro back to his mansion, and we did not get high. We started to fool around. I was not into it because I just kept thinking, oh my God, he's so old. He's like my dad old, which he was. And, I mean, my dad was a little older at that time, but around that time, I should not have been fucking this guy, the Monte Cristo rum guy, okay? And I just keep saying Monte Cristo rum, so hopefully someone will fucking find him, so then we can berate this motherfucker. But I tried to fuck him. He wasn't clean. I was a 16-year-old with shit on my dick for the first time. I started to gag because I was like, this is, you know... The more it happens in your life, the more you kind of, like, don't gag. But this was my first time. I mean, I'm like this little kid fucking shit on my dick and gagging. So I ended up being like, I gotta go. He let me leave. Never saw him again up until the salon when I had to shampoo him. And I had that moment where I was like, oh my God, he did, like, this guy took advantage of me. That was the first time I thought that. Another guy around the same time, don't remember his name. He was this big fat guy who owned a business, and God, I wish I remembered his name, but also I met him online. He told me he had like this group of gay guys that he like ran. It was kind of like a gay gang. I don't fucking know. So we go to the Coca-Cola factory. I'll never forget it. It was on the Strip, and you could go in, you could pay like $10, and you'd go through the Coca-Cola factory. You'd taste different Coca-Colas on the Las Vegas Strip. It was a lot of fun. And I remember I felt so cute. I snuck out of the house that night, and this guy promised me that there would be young boys there that I could hook up with and all this kind of stuff. I even think I told him about Monte Cristo rum, but this guy used it to his, to fuck me, pretty much. So I go, and it was around when Mariah Carey and Heartbreaker had come out, and she was wearing belly chains, girl, those cute little silver belly chains. And I remember I got one from Claire's, girl. I felt so cute underneath my little Abercrombie shirt, girl. I had my little belly chain, girl, bitch, and I felt so cute. I felt so sexy and feminine. I did when I sat down for the first time, it broke, so then I felt very unsexy when that happened. But he introduced, this older man introduced me to young gays like he said he was going to, and he introduced me to this boy named Caleb, and I think about Caleb fondly. He was very cute, and I don't know if Caleb's around still. If Caleb, if you are around and you see this, message me. I would love to catch up with you. Caleb and I made out. I will never forget this. Caleb and I made out after this event, but we made out watching Star Wars, I think episode 1 when it first came out. We were in the back. We were with my friend Drew and Melissa, and we were just like sloppily making out. And these people were watching us. Could you imagine seeing in 1998 2 little faggot twinks making out in Star Wars? And I will never forget, Melissa and Drew were like talking shit to the people that were getting pissed. Now, today, if I turn around and saw that, I would be like, fucking stop. I don't care what your gender is. I don't want to hear slopping behind me during a movie, right? But I think of Caleb fondly. We hooked up a couple times. Caleb, baby, message me. But let's get back to Caleb's gang leader or whoever the fuck this guy was. So ended up, after that night, we dropped all the boys off. This guy took me back to his office, which was over off of Tropicana in Vegas. Tropicana and Pecos, I'll never forget. And he took me into his dark office. My 16-year-old ass sat me on his chair. He gave me a blowjob. I came very quickly because I was 16. And then afterwards, I thought, well, I'll give you a blowjob because I felt like I needed to reciprocate. And he took his penis out, and his penis was very large. I remember it being very large, and I started to suck on it in the same chair, and then I couldn't do it. I got this feeling in my stomach, this feeling of disgust, and I stopped. And thank God he didn't take it any further. He put me in the car, took me back home. I did run into him years later, and the same thing happened. When I saw him, I got weird in my stomach. I had to leave. It was when I was working for Gap. He came in, and the crazy thing was this man came in that blew me in his office. He came in years later with someone that looked even younger than me at that time, and I was like 21. And this guy just fucking sits there and fucks underage kids over and over again. I need to figure out who this fucking guy is, because now this stuff sits in my head, and I don't know if it sits in y'all's head, but it'll sit in your head, and it'll sound, and you'll think it one way, and then when you say it out loud, you're like, oh my God, this is some fucked up shit. So, third time I got raped was when I was, excuse me, I just burped, was when I was 21. There was this guy named JW, and he owned, in Las Vegas, he owned oxygen bars. I don't know if oxygen bars are a thing still, but those little masks, he owned them in like the mini malls, in the casinos. He like owned those. So he was like a really rich guy, tall, bald, black dude. And let me just be clear too. Since I'm racially profiling him, that's fucking rude that I just did that, even though he raped me. The two guys prior that did, they were white. They were white, disgusting men. Okay, this guy, JW, is a black, bald guy, and he's fucking disgusting too. So, okay, and I'm not completely not in the wrong here, okay? But, like, no, just because of what I did on the date does not mean you get to fucking date rape me, okay? So, this guy, he pursued me a lot. I was way out of his league. I'm still out of his league, okay? I should never have even tried to do this. I should have just stayed away, but I was a people pleaser. I was a people pleaser, and I never wanted people to be mad at me, even if that meant I had to sleep with ugly people. Even if that meant I had to sleep with, like, I just never knew back then how to say no. I would fucking literally sleep with people just to get them away from me. I mean, it's crazy, the people pleasing, and how deep the people pleasing and the not being able to say no to someone really truly is in me, okay? And so I went on a date with him, and this is the thing, I was a sure thing. He was gonna fuck me, okay? He was totally gonna fuck me, and that was that. He got me on a date. Usually when you get me on a date that night, you're gonna get lucky, right? And I remember we went, on my side of the town, I was living way, way far out in a little suburb called Summerlin in Las Vegas, and I don't know what to do with my hands. I just keep going like this. So I say a lot, and I do apologize. It is something that I do want to correct. And when I'm editing, I'm like, oh my God, I say and going right into it. But it is what it is. So we go to dinner. I don't know when he drugged me. I'm assuming it's when we went out. But we went to dinner. Dinner was great. I paid for dinner, girl. I fucking paid for dinner with this rich dude that owned businesses. I paid for dinner. So we go out to the Gypsy nightclub, girl. If you've been in Las Vegas, and you went to queer bars, you went to the Gypsy, girl. I don't know if it's there anymore, but bitch, we runneth amok in the Gypsy, okay? The Gypsy was the best. So we go there, we continue to drink. I'm assuming that's where he put something in my drink. I do remember, so I was fucking around with this one dude who ran a kiosk in the Fashion Show Mall, and he called me or texted me. I don't know if text messages were around back then, but he got into contact with me while I was on the date. And if I was out, I would just go to outside. This is terrible. He would contact me when I was out, and if I was out and about, I would go out to his car. We would fuck in his back seat, and he would leave. And it was fucking fantastic. It was no attachments. Like when I would see him at the mall, he wouldn't even look at me. I was like, this is fucking fantastic. And the sex was great. So during the date, and maybe I did go out there, because I don't think I would have done that because of the people pleasing, but I think because I was drugged, I did it. Well, he called, I went out, I got fucked in the backseat of his car, and I came back in. So the rest of the night, this is what I remember. The next thing I remember is I woke up, and I was throwing up in a dark, cold bathroom. I was naked. And when I turn around to look, JW was fucking me without a condom while I was throwing up on the bathroom floor. I passed back out again. I wake back up and I'm now in the bed. My legs are up in the air. I'm on my back and he is penetrating me. I cannot move. I cannot talk. All I can do is witness what's going on. I pass back out. I come to again, back on the bathroom floor, once again throwing up. Once again, he's fucking me. And then the next time I wake up, it is in the morning. He's dead asleep. I wake up next to him. I get up, I get dressed, and I get the fuck out of there. So I didn't know that I was raped until the Me Too movement started a decade later. I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell nobody about that. But that was the first time that I did realize that a man took advantage of me. I didn't know the two prior to that. I didn't put them together until the Me Too movement as well. But yeah, so that is number 3. Now, number 4, and I feel bad for saying this, and I don't think that there was any malice in this. I do think the lines are really drawn weird when you're with someone. But I remember when I was with someone for 10 years, and that person is a wonderful person. We still kind of stay in contact, although he was going to come on the show. I know I complained about this before. He promised me, and he is ghosting me now, which other people are doing that as well. Sarah Paulson. But that's okay, bitch, because you know what? I don't need you. No, anyways. Just don't say something. Just, if you don't want to do it, just keep your fucking mouth shut. Quit. This is what I'm talking about, people pleasing, though. Just don't, if you don't want to do it, just fucking say no. But this man I was with for a long time. Anyways, there was a time that we were out drinking, and I would drink a lot. I did a lot of drugs. I did a lot of prescription drugs. There was times when I was, like, doing cocaine. There was times when I was really young. I was into meth. I mean, I've never done, and I've never done heroin. I've had crack blown into my face. That wasn't my choice. It was the people I was hanging out with. But I digress. I've done a lot of drugs. And I come to, and my boyfriend is fucking me. I don't remember anything leading up to that. I remember thinking his dick is big. I mean, he's still around as far as I know. But it would always hurt. So I would always have to, like, prepare and stuff. But it was already in, so it didn't hurt. So I was like, oh, thank God. And it was very enjoyable. But I also didn't say, yes, please do it. So it is a rape. I mean, I don't know if there's different classifications, but I never agreed to it. And just because we own a house together and we have dogs together, doesn't mean that you're allowed to just use my hole whenever you want, you know? Yeah. So what I want to ask now is, like, how did we get here? How are we allowing, and because there's something very specific happening here, and in my life, the very specific thing is that men think it's okay to rape and take advantage of people. That's what I'm saying in my life. We have somehow, and I do think it starts as a child, you know, we tell girls, gender-assigned girls, that they need to be grown up all the time. We need to that you're a big girl. You're a big girl. You know, that's what you are. And you wear skirts, and you wear frilly things, and you wear panties, and you have to be very delicate, because you have to be delicate for the man who's not allowed to cry, the man who is not allowed to show emotion. Only when they go into schools and shoot up children are they allowed to show emotion. And when I say they're allowed to, we don't fucking do anything about it. So men will continue to go in and shoot, rape, kill, pillage people. I know this got really dark really quick, but it's the fucking truth. If we continue to make them kings, okay? Stop telling your boys to not cry. Let them cry. Let them fucking cry. I wish my dad and my mom would not have ever told me to stop crying. I remember my dad would specifically say, if you keep crying, I'm going to give you something to cry about. And I would just think in my head, just fucking hit me so I can continue to cry. And then he would fucking hit me, and I would cry, and then he would tell me to shut the fuck up. And I'd be like, you just literally said, if you gave me a reason, I'm allowed to sit here and cry. You fucking hit me, and now you're telling me to stop crying? Which one is it? But my dad doesn't know any better. My dad was raised by an alcoholic who would get in his face, he'd punch him. So, like, the version of my dad I got is a watered down, maybe a little bit better version. But hopefully, like, through generational shit, we can, I mean, hopefully in our family it'll stop a little bit with me, because I call myself a gender assigned man, but, like, I don't identify, like, I'm not a man. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is, I'm getting off subject, girl. I'm going all over the place. The fact of the matter is this. If you are taken advantage of, if you have been raped, anything. I'm talking, like, anything from, like, I used to have my salon owner, Diva Studio, Stephen Brooks. He would come up to me in the morning, and I was probably, 21, an assistant, just starting my hair career. He would come up to me in the morning. He would grab both my butt cheeks when I was on the computer looking at my schedule, and he would shake my butt cheeks and he'd go, "Good morning." And I allowed it. I allowed it every single fucking time. He's dead now. So, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? We have to start standing up for ourselves. Men, I don't think men are going to change at all. I think with what's going on politically, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, all this kind of shit, I don't think it's going to get any better. The only time it's going to get better is if we fucking start telling these people no. If we start talking about this. There's a reason why people don't want to talk about the Me Too movement, girl, because when we talk about it, we get more powerful. When you tell your story, you get more powerful. Okay? When you say the names of these people, JW, Monte Cristo Rum, okay? They get more powerful. We get more powerful. And they get a teeny tiny bit littler. More small? Littler? Bitch, I don't know. Listen, the older I get, the worse my grammar is. Okay? So, listen, if you like this, please rate it, subscribe, share. I would love that. If you don't, I'm not saying share. Oh, crazy bitch. Oh! I'm saying share. S-H-A-R-E, not C-H-E-R. And if you don't like it, my name is Sarah Paulson. Thank you.